Republicans in Tennessee are moving full speed ahead in their quest to undo the thing they hate the most, the 20th century. With Governor Bill Lee signing a bill today that would restrict drag performances. If Governor Lee knew the history that Republicans didn't want you to learn, he'd know that drag is an art form that goes back literally centuries. It's been around since Shakespeare. But in their zeal to turn back the clock, they're also showing their ignorance about the history they don't want their own children to learn either. Tennessee's history of brutal lynchings, like the People's Grocery lynching in Memphis 131 years ago today, when a white mob stormed the Shelby County Jail and viciously lynched 3 black men. The murder prompted a friend of the 3 murdered men, journalist Ida B. Wells, to begin her campaign to chronicle the horrors of lynching, which frequently took the form of public hangings, the strange fruit borne by Southern trees Billie Holiday sang about. Recently, Tennessee State Representative Republican Paul Sherrill showed his ignorance of that history, debating a bill concerning capital punishment.
And I was just wondering about, could I put an amendment on that? It would include hanging by a tree also. And also, I would like to sign on to your bill, sir.
The bill was to have firing squads come back. He since apologized to anyone that he might have hurt or offended, saying it was to convey his belief that heinous crimes in a just society require the death penalty. Joining me now, Juanita Tolliver, MSNBC political analyst, Democratic strategist, and co-host of the What a Day podcast, and Rick Wilson, former Republican strategist and co-founder of the Lincoln Project. What a day, Juanita. Bringing back the hanging tree. That is the Tennessee new idea, firing squads and the hanging tree. Your thoughts?
That state rep knew exactly what he was doing. He wasn't joking. He's not even remiss today. What he was doing was sending out a test balloon to see how much cruelty he could get support for among his colleagues. And I guess somebody told him, hey, you shouldn't do that. But the reality is that state representative knew the legacy of lynching across this country, and in Tennessee, no less, and how it was used to target black bodies for decades and decades, Joy. So he knew exactly what he was doing. And if anybody buys that apology he issued today, I don't know what to tell you, because he meant what he said, and he wanted that part of cruelty to be included.
Yeah, I mean, Donald Trump has also said he would like to bring back firing squads, but this guy took it to the next level. And Rick, let's just do Tennessee alone. So Tennessee banned critical race theory, of course. The first complaint was a book about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. That's got to go, apparently, according to their critical race theory ban. Tennessee, there was an attempt to add rape and incest exceptions to an abortion ban. Failed. You can't do that. It has no explicit exemptions, requires an affirmative defense for doctors, requiring them to prove it was necessary to save a life or prevent irreversible impairment. They've also joined the states that are banning drag shows, banning for gender-affirming care. I could go on. Tennessee is actually kind of ground zero right now for anti-LGBTQ bills. What the heck is going on in the state of Tennessee?
Look, the centrality of the culture war to the modern MAGA Republican Party it cannot be overstated. They don't have any other governing philosophy anymore. They are what I call unlimited government conservatives. They want to use the power of the government now, as they always accuse liberals of doing, to reshape society into their exact desired mold. They want to reshape society into something that doesn't have anything that makes them uncomfortable. They don't want any ideas that could confront them with the realities of history or society, or of the weird diversity and the weird, various pathways that human life takes. Things that do not seem normal to them inside that little bubble they would love to create. They're going to try to legislate against it. They've got a huge majorities in both houses. They've got a governor in Bill Lee who is willing to go as far out on the cliff as he possibly can. And so you're going to see more of this, and it's iterating out throughout the states. They're doing a lot of copycat bills in various states. So if one state gets away with it, another state will pick it up.
8 states right now have these gender-affirming care bans. I mean, the thing is, Juanita, the percentage of people who are trans, especially a trans kid, is like under 1%. This is like a tiny group of people, but you would think that there was this, sort of massive wave of parents deciding, I've got a girl, now I would like a boy, I would just change the child, or I've got a boy, I would like a girl. Parents are running amok, doing this. It is just not the case, but they're making it sound like it's some sort of epidemic because it makes them uncomfortable, therefore it must be illegal.
And it feeds into the fears of the people who believe in this extremist type of platform and this anti-LGBTQ agenda. And what's sickening is that we know it's targeting the most marginalized people who actually need support and need care. But on top of all of that, Joy, Tennessee and Mississippi have much bigger issues that they need to address. I'm talking about the basic: clean water, quality education, quality health care. And they're ignoring all of that for this type of extremist agenda, which we know doesn't get Republicans too far at the national stage. But this is the runway that they're setting up for 2024. And they're taking the same playbook that they used in 2022 that voters across the country rejected. But if this is the runway that the MAGA Republicans want to keep using, I don't know what to tell them as far as results in the next election cycle.
And I forgot to mention that they're also punishing the city of Nashville, Rick, because they refused to host the Republican convention. Look, and I always remind, whenever I have you on, I remember how we met. Remember when we used to debate because you were the small government conservative and I was the crazy liberal? And I mean, one of the things that, look, and I used to enjoy debating with you because you literally were like, we need smaller government and less government control. It's literally the opposite now. What you're seeing is Republicans saying we need... They want the biggest government possible. They want government to tell you what books to read. They want to tell you what you can say, how you can talk. It's
how you
wild.
can live in your home.
They want to monitor women's travel patterns by looking at their phone data to make sure they don't go to another state to get an abortion. I'm sorry, that is some dystopian stuff. And see, I did it. There's some dystopian stuff that any conservative in the past would have been appalled by. I mean, if Barack Obama had said something like that, there would have been pitchforks and torches in the street.
Come on.
They would have lost their damn minds.
And here's the thing. They're acting as if, Juanita, there is a law that says you have to do someone's pronouns. There isn't. It's just called not being an a-hole. It's saying don't be a jerk. If somebody is saying call me this pronoun, you just don't be a jerk. They're saying, no, we're going to make it illegal for you to have to do. Like, it's like they want to literally legislate your attitude. That is some big A government.
And your identity. They want to legislate how you live. And of course, bodily autonomy is all wrapped up in every bit of this. But we're even seeing how much further they're willing to go. Didn't DeSantis just introduce a bill that will require bloggers who wrote about him to register with the state so that they can be tracked?
Jason Broder introduced that bill today. And it says if you're blogging, which could mean Twitter, by the way, about Prince Ronald the Delicate, or any of his friends, then you have to get a license from the state of Florida. And I told Jason today indirectly, I got that license already. It's called the United States Constitution.
This is what I'm saying. They're literally saying you must not talk about he's so delicate, his feelings. What happened to F your feelings? Their whole thing are black people should not have any feelings about walking under statues of traitors who we went to war against, as if we had like statues of Hirohito, right? That we went to war against in World War II. But we are so delicate that if you even talk about Dr. King and anybody else, we can't handle it. Our feelings. It's wild. Juanita Tolliver and Rick Wilson, they need to all be like, maybe they weren't breastfed enough.
Coddled.
That's what it is. Coddled. Just saying. Thank you. That is tonight's readout. I'm going to go. All of it, Chris Hayes starts now.